tonight, Building Futures inside of B1 Ventures Healthcare Training Program with Makeba Chanay, CEO of B1 Ventures and Holdings. It's Nightcap Knowledge. You put something on your head before you go to bed. Be sure to visit affirmationsforme.com, a mature theme, not radically so, activity book and journal for women ages 16 plus. It will be signed by the author. She was on our show just last week. Be on the lookout. We'll be speaking more about this. High-res coloring pages, regular check-in tasks, private online community, journaling entries, and more. Makes a great gift. Again, you can check it out at affirmationsforme.com. Let's get into the show.
Hey, great evening, everybody. Welcome to Nightcap Knowledge. This show is rated black and uncensored, real talk, real issues, and real solutions. We're here to tell it like a TI is. I'm in this thing. I'm flying semi-solo. DJ George Chuck is in the back. He's traveling. We'll make sure that we always welcome our guests and friends and those who are watching, and make sure that we also will wish well for Brother Chuck as he's traveling, headed back to the great state of Mississippi. So we got a great show for you guys tonight. We always start out with the mental health minute. We know what the guru with DJ George Chuck. He's out with family. Mental health minute is responsibility. Responsibility sounds like different things to different folks, but I always start off by talking about taking care of yourself, taking care of family, taking care of community, and understanding that it's our job. That's part of our service. It's part of being a human on earth. Is responsibility that we are here blessed with different gifts, different tools to be able to help serve mankind and assist others. So we are here, and responsibility is a great topic for Mental Health Minute. Understanding that we are not just here to breathe, we are here to do different things. And our guest is a person who learned that that's what her calling was, to take responsibility to do something about some of the things that she saw, and she turned her trauma into triumph, and she's here to tell her story and all the stuff that she has going on. The CEO, the lady in charge, the boss, in the words of The Rock, the final boss, Makeba White Chanay.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Well, we're gonna let you slide because I don't see you're here. You here at night, but you ain't got no cap. So I'll have to drink for both of us.
I don't have any cap.
So
No, I
I'm
don't.
listen. I'm taking it back old school. I got
Oh
me a
my
little bit
gosh,
of
what is that?
Martell.
Martell.
Yes. Martell's still a good cognac. It's a real cognac, unlike Hennessy. For those who like Hennessy, Hennessy's too sweet. It's not a real cognac. But anyway, um, so
I have my water. Thank you, sir.
yes, I'm glad you're drinking water and not Kool Aid
Oh, don't you do that to
or
me.
or sweet tea. Yeah,
Green tea.
green. Oh, green tea. I'll
Thank
let you
you.
make it with the green tea.
Uh-huh.
So, Bakiba, a lot of folks don't know you for the work that we're talking about. We did. That people know that, yeah, you're in healthcare, but they don't know all of the moving parts, the different names of the businesses and companies. But they don't know your story and how you got to this point, right? You didn't um, wake up with the silver spoon with the diamond with the diamond handle on the end of it. Um, so introduce yourself to the public, to the people that's watching, who you are. You tell them a little bit about where you come from and how you end up in this point.
Okay. I am Makeba White Chaney, formerly Makeba White. Just a little girl from Forest, Mississippi, Scott County, to be exact. Um, I was raised in the country on a farm. My grandfather, he was an entrepreneur. Of course, he raised chickens for Tyson. And back then, I was kind of like embarrassed because, that smell and, didn't want my friends coming up to my house because it smelled like, fertilizer and all that. But that business made my grandfather money and it took care of not only, my grandmother, but it took care of his family. So, looking back on it today, I'm like, you know what? I should have been really appreciated, but that's okay. That's okay because I learned a lot from my grandfather. I learned a lot about entrepreneurship. I learned a lot about, money and financing and all of that great stuff. Um, so anyway, I B1 Ventures and Holdings. That's where what I'm the CEO over, and under B1 Ventures and Holdings umbrella, we have B1 Nursing Care, which is a home care agency. We have the College of Health Services and Careers, which is a certificate program preparatory school. We also have B1 Foundation, which is our foundation that raises monies to provide scholarships for people who are getting the certificates. And we have since ventured out into the high schools to offer scholarships to students who are like in health, who are going into the health science program or who are in a health science program in high school, or they are going to a health care program in college. And we are now providing them with scholarships through our foundation. We also have exclusive testing. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Time, because you only took but one breath, and you just like you're not in a rush. You're trying to get everything out at one time. So I'm gonna tell you what you told the people, right? You grew up
Yes.
on a farm. You was embarrassed because it smelled like chicken shit, and
Well,
you went from
dog,
being on the
how you be
farm.
honest about
That's
it?
what that is what it smelled like. I grew up on. I knew what it. So you went from there and you started B1 Holdings. That is not the
No,
story.
no,
You
no, no,
skipped.
no. Well, there, of course, there are in some in between parts.
So how did you
Um,
get into the field of
but you want the
healthcare?
complete story. You want
No,
the,
no. Like
the
what? How did you get in the field of healthcare? Like what was your start for healthcare, and then how did you come up to the point of saying I want to start B1?
okay. So, at the age of 8, 9, somewhere up in there, I've always known that I wanted to be a nurse. So as a little kid growing up, I took care of my grandmother as a teenager to my early adulthood, took care of her. She had illnesses or what have you. And of course, back then I wasn't thinking about owning a business or owning a home care agency. When I had my struggles. I got pregnant at the age of 15, had my first child at the age of 16. And of course, life was kind of moving fast for me at that point. The direction, of course, I was limited on resources, limited on, certain things. So I kind of like had to figure out my way. And once I started my first career started at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. And it took me a while. It took me like probably 5 to 7 years to save my money and say, okay, I'm gonna go to nursing school. Of course, by this time I had 3 kids and I was married to my first husband. And so I went to nursing school, did, worked as after nursing school, I worked as a floor nurse, and I didn't like it. So I gravitated back to taking care of the older generation. So I said I took another career at this company who was a quality improvement organization for Mississippi Medicaid. And at this company, I started learning different things and didn't know that there was things that I, as a young African American, that I could do as an entrepreneur. And that was opening, starting a home care agency. And of course, I reached out to some people who were in that field because they were called to the quality improvement organization for some information. And believe it or not, a couple of people, they did not want to talk to me. They didn't want to talk to me at all. So I had to kind of like do some more research. But there was this one particular woman that I talked to, and I asked her if I could have her cell number so I could talk to her after hours. So she obliged, gave me her information, and we started talking. And that's how the whole home care agency started. But somewhat, let me finish telling you the rest of the story. So one particular day, I reached out to Dr. Quinn, and at this time, Dr. Quinn was getting ready to have a health fair at the trademark. Was it trademark or called convention center? And so I attended, and the news station was there. And when I got to work on that Monday, no, I got a text message that Saturday from my manager at the time saying, "Oh, I saw you on TV." I didn't think anything of it. I went there to represent my company. Now, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything but a piece of paper that said B1 Nursing Care. That's all I had. We had some paper fly, like that was it. And so Monday, I got to the office. I was a manager, an education service manager for this company. I got to work Monday. We had a Monday morning meeting with all the managers like we would normally have at 8 o'clock, no, 10 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I was fired because they told me that it was a conflict of interest. And of course, I didn't do enough. I asked them, I said, well, what part of it is a conflict of interest? Because we wasn't doing anything with home care, the elderly side of it. But because I had the private duty nursing component that was in my business plan, like I let them see my business plan and everything. I was like, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm trying to start. But at 4 o'clock p.m., I was fired from that job. So that was a push I had to go on out to start my agency because there was nothing, I didn't have anything. And during this time, I was going through a very bad divorce. I mean, I had 3 kids. I had this big old house I had to pay for. I had bills. And it's so funny because 2 weeks prior to that, my brother called me and said that he had a dream that God told me to step out with this business. And I laughed at him. I said, no, God didn't tell you that because I got these bills. I got kids, and I had 2 kids at the time that were still in school. So I was like, no, God didn't tell you that. And it was exactly 2 weeks later, I was terminated from that job because they said that, when it started with me being on the news, a picture of me on the news, and about my job, there's the business that I had, that it was a conflict of interest. So that's how B1 Nursing Care started. Now, I'm gonna go back and forth because everything that we have going on is kind of built off a testimony or something that I have gone through or that I've seen others go through. And I said, okay, well, there's a need, and we're gonna go ahead and try to breathe life into this need. So I struggled in nursing school too. So yeah, it's no, I'm not ashamed of it. I had struggles in nursing school. And I said, if I ever get the opportunity to educate somebody, it doesn't matter what level that they are on. If I get that opportunity, I'm going to make it to where it's affordable and that it's not as hard as what they are making it. So the school, that's how the school came about. Now, at first in 2018, me and my best friend at the time, we were, she was a nurse too. We said we was going to only start with two programs, and that was CNA and phlebotomy. Those were the only two programs that I cared about at that time. And so I said, because there is a need, you have nursing home shortages, you have hospital shortages, you have like shortages everywhere, home health, home care, assisted living, independent living. They really need CNAs and also phlebotomy. So we said we was going, we started that program. Well, of course, since then it has kind of flourished to even more programs, and you could thank Dr. Cheney for that. Put more on my plate, but that's okay. That's okay. But I still say to this day, and I'm going to stand by it. And everyone who knows me up in the school and that, within B1 Features and Holdings, they know that those programs are still going to be affordable, but it's going to be cost effective, and it's also going to be to where they're getting the one-on-one or the instructions that they need so that they can be viable adults through these certificate programs. So that's how the school kind of came about. Now, the foundation, that was something that Dr. Cheney and I built together, because we do have a place where we want to make sure that the school is affordable for individuals. And like I said before, we go into the high schools and we kind of provide scholarships for those students as well. And we also have a heart for the homeless. We like to go out and make sure that whenever we can, make sure that they have some of the things that they need. Um, the exclusive testing, that is something, drug testing, that is drug and alcohol testing, that is something that my daughter, who's a medical assistant, that is something that she kind of brought to us, and she thought that it would be a good thing for us to add that under our belt. So that's something that's fairly new, but we're working with a couple of companies with that. And did I miss anything? It's so much.
And that's why. So now you gotta take time, right? So you can kind of pull back and go into some of the things, right? So you have B1 Healthcare. Where did the name B1 come from?
The name B1 came from. Okay, so um me struggling and going through things that I was going through as a young adult. Like I said, I didn't have the resources available to me. I didn't have anyone to kind of point me in the right direction to accomplish some of the goals
Hmm.
that I wanted to accomplish. So one day, it was actually in 2003. um I was sitting in my apartment. That was me and my daughter. I was sitting in my apartment, and I said, you know what? I said, if they can be one, I can too. So it was like a second wind came over me during that moment. And this is how I know it was in 2003, because it was at that moment I created my very first professional, well, I say professional, email address, and it was B1nurse03 at yahoo.com. So it was in 2003 when I received that second win. And I said, I'm going to do everything I can to accomplish my goals, the things that I had set out to accomplish. And that's where B1 came from. It's kind of like, a motivation. If I can be one, so can you.
Yeah, I like the name, and right now B1 we know is a uh, black owned business, but when you think about black owned business, sometimes people might think a lot smaller numbers. So, about how many people are staffed on the B1 side that you guys employ every day?
Whew. We have about 62 employees.
So, here's the thing you got to look at it. Sometimes you get so engulfed into what you're doing. And I always tell people it's like playing the video game. You're playing right now in quarterback mode, right? I mean, the running back mode. I mean, you can pull back the controls and step back and see that you went from a little girl in Forest, Mississippi, on a farm to employing and making sure that 60 plus people are gainfully employed and have food, right? It just the way and the things that and the trials and tribulations that you've been through. Um, if you have not had that, it might not have put you in a position where you want to provide. And those 60 plus people probably take care of 100 people for its clientele.
Mm-hmm.
And the need is being filled because people need people.
Right.
So you got to reflect on that and look at that. So you get frustrated, right? You might want to choke Cheney every now and then, but you got
Every
to,
day.
but you got to look back where you are now,
Right.
right? And the things that you are able to accomplish, and you guys are not finished with that. The school, like you thinking about the programs, and we always talk about this. Hey, even with going to college, 4 year degrees, specialty degrees, all of this, sometimes the money maker come back down to being able to get a certificate or six
That's
month
right.
or 1 year program and go right to work,
That's right.
and go right to work. So besides CNA and phlebotomy, kind of break down the programs that you guys have now. We know what CNA, right? Yeah, that's
Hmm.
a certified nursing assistant, more of the tech hands-on caregiving, ADLs for for as a patient or a client. All right,
Right.
phlebotomy, them the vampires, y'all. Phlebotomy is the vampire. Them folks that take your blood. They supposed to be experts at taking your blood, and not making it hurt. All right,
Right.
I don't know about that. So what are the other most popular ones that you guys have, and kind of break down what they do in a
Okay.
real live employment setting?
Okay. So we have EKG, which they are really just going in there, getting pictures of your heart. And they are mostly hired by, some of them go to, you can go to a hospital, and you can also go to like maybe heart clinics or something like that. We also have medical assistant. That's our longest going program. That's a 6 month program. And the reason why we have it for 6 months is because we want the student, the individual, to be able to gain that knowledge base of how you would actually work in a clinic from front to back. You may start in the back and the front answering the telephones, and you may end up in the back, taking a blood pressure, or maybe some of them in some states give medications. It just depends on what the state say that you can do. Your state say that you can do under that, with that certification. We also have we just started a program, limited license radiology. Now this program is fairly new. In other states is x-ray tech, some states is radiology tech, but we have Dr. Jeremy Coleman, who is teaching that class. Now he's a chiropractor, and he takes the students to his clinic to do their skills. I mean, he is great, he is wonderful with breaking this down. He's even gone in there to take the national certification so that he can see how it is, to see if it'll be worth it. And so we are so, so, so grateful to have him a part of our team. We also have, we just got another program, healthcare technology. Now, this person can do CNA and phlebotomy. And so what we did was that we assessed the need. So we know that one of the hospitals here in the Jackson, Mississippi area, they hire for these individuals. So we said, okay, well, let's go ahead and get them this extensive training with CNA and phlebotomy, and they can become more marketable. So that program actually just started this cohort. um, and I could be missing something. We have a health information technology program. Now, these are for individuals who are already working in the workforce, but they're coming to get some CEUs for healthcare information technology. Now, you have to actually be working in that field and come and get this certification, because this is actually governed by a company called Paycom, Pahcom. They are the deliverer of the certification and the examination. Also for the certified medical manager. That's another one. Um, we have medical billing and coding.
What's a
We
certified
are
medical manager?
certified medical manager. Again, this is another one that you have to be working in the healthcare field, and you would come in and get your CEU and a certification. If you're wanting to move up in a
Mhm.
clinic to, manage records, you can also case management, that sort of thing. Um, Again, that's another program that is governed by a company called Paycom. We are a partner with this company. They are based out of Florida. If you go to their website, you will see our school logo out there as one of their partners. Um, we also have medical billing and coding, and we have medical billing and coding specialists. Now, medical billing and coding, that's just kind of like a broad overview of codes and procedures. You can work in your clinics, you can work in your hospitals, your surgical clinics, um, learning different codes. Then we have the specialists, you're specializing in medical billing and coding. We're actually at this point in time we are redoing the medical billing and coding because we realize that it's a lot of codes for an individual, and we want to be able to touch more on the codes so they not only can sit for the national this our examination, but also for the to become a certified coder. So we are actually in the process of trying to actually redo that program. So we're gonna hold that one off until we get all the kinks and everything worked out.
Now, I think you didn't mention pharmacy tech. Is that still active right
Yes,
now?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, we also have pharmacy tech as well.
So
Um,
so
I'm
pharmacy
sorry.
tech, are those the people that you see uh that be at CVS that get your to get your prescriptions wrong?
Yes, those are the techs that you see at Walgreens, CVS,
CVS. Yeah.
Walmart. Some hospital have pharmacy techs because
Yeah, some
hospital,
hospital have
I
their
think like the
pharmacists.
VA
Yeah.
have their own pharmacy. So yeah,
Baptist.
yes.
Yeah. Baptist has
Yes.
his own pharmacy.
And I didn't mention either. Of course, we do CPR. We also have a partnership for the Mississippi Department of Health, where we provide training, COVID-19 training for their community health workers. And we just finished a class with them, I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So you guys offer a lot of these services, and I know that you just started a class recently, right? Is
hmm
it too late for people to get in, or do they have to wait until? And what's being offered this summer, like right
Okay.
now? What's just started?
So we actually yesterday we just
Hmm.
started phlebotomy, CNA, medical billing and coding, and medical assistant. So these are the programs that you can get in this week. We have extended the deadline. And EKG, that's another one. We have extended the deadline until Friday. So they have until Friday to come in and register or submit their application online, and we will still accept them. And I heard somebody say health information technology also. So if they are interested in taking any of those classes, they need to call us ASAP to go ahead and register for those classes. Now, we will offer, I think August the 5th, we're going to offer those programs plus the limited license radiology and the pharmacy tech. The reason why we can't open it up now because those classes are going right now.
Yeah.
So they are almost at their completion date. But in August the 5th, they will be able to enroll in those classes.
So if someone listening right now, they have a family or friend, and so let me break this down. Unless the numbers changed, um, it's 4 weeks for CNA, correct?
4 weeks for CNA, yes.
And how much is CNA?
How much?
Yep.
Well, everybody gets a scholarship.
So
Is
yeah.
Dr. China listening in? Because he have all the prices, but
Uh, don't be
everyone
using
they
no
will have
cheat
to
sheet.
call because the Dr. China is the only he's a licensed agent, so he's able to give out the rates. But everyone gets a
Oh, never
scholarship.
mind. I said, don't use him as no cheat sheet.
The-
The reason I asked is because someone that may be listening, I want them to understand that CNA program is in today's time everything's expensive, but it's not as expensive as everything else. And
no.
this is the program where you can take 4 weeks and go straight to work.
Right.
All
It's
right,
if I'm not mistaken, and they probably kill me tomorrow, but I
don't do
think
it.
that class
Don't
is
do it.
five
Don't do it.
hundred.
Hello, Makeba, what happened to you? Okay, I think we lost Makeba. I think she'll be back in a minute. Might have a little technology difficulty. So right now you're seeing us. We are interviewing Miss Makeba White Chaney. She is talking about B1 Healthcare, B1 Holding, the College for Health Services and Careers. College Health Service Careers is actually the school where you can that they have where you can go and get certifications in things like CNA, CMA, which is Certified Medical Assistant, phlebotomy, pharmacy tech, EKG tech, um, building and coding. Those are things that you can get a certificate in and go right to work. So anybody you know, especially if just got out of school, just graduated from high school, they can pick up this program, pick up one of these certifications, and go directly to work right now. But one of the classes, everything just started, and they extended the deadline till Friday. So if that's something you might be interested in, definitely tune in, check it out. Hopefully, we can get Miss Makeba back in. I don't know what happened. I think I don't know if it's internet or what may cause the problem. But if anybody's out there, you got any questions, you can go ahead and drop the questions in the comments, and I'll get you the number for B1 Healthcare. Anybody out there got any questions for us? And get your B1 Healthcare number. And all right, I'm just reaching out to see if we can get her back in, and hope we can finish this interview with Miss Makeba White Chaney. You can find her on Facebook, social media. B1 Healthcare is the name of the company. And anybody that's interested in going into the healthcare field or knowing more about B1 Healthcare. So, Brother Chuck is traveling. He's not able to navigate. So, we just sit up here. This vibe right here with this camera and this seat kind of give me, uh, what is that, Masterpiece Theater. I mean, like I'm either going to read a story or we about to talk about some craziness that happened on one of these horror films or something. This close up right here. Um, but hey, it's nightcap knowledge. We make it do what it do. We take a bump and keep moving. Anything happen, we just keep rolling. So we don't stop. But it does give me feel like I want to read a book, read something to you guys, tell you what we got going on, and let me see if I can get in contact with Miss Makeba before I go too far off script. All right, she's in. Let me reach out to Chuck. All right, we'll see if we can get Miss Makeba back in the show and go from there. Don't see any comments. Anybody got any? I don't see the comments popping up. If you're making any comments or if you're interested in anything specific you want to ask Miss Makeba, you can reach out to us directly, myself or Chuck, or you can drop it in the comments section. And we're trying to get Miss Makeba back in the show. All right, Miss Makeba's on her way back. So back to this Masterpiece Theater. Do anybody remember Masterpiece Theater? Do anybody remember anything similar to that? Just sit there with a book and telling a story. I guess I will be telling Makeba's story. B1. Telling the B1 story. Got to work on the voice. I'm trying to work on my voice for Masterpiece Theater.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. My phone just kind of like got stuck. I'm sorry.
You must got an iPhone. Ha, ha.
Android user, don't do that.
Team Android, baby. So before you got in, I was saying this little setting because there was a tight screen just on me sitting in this chair. I like I could read a book like Masterpiece Theater.
Oh
Like
Lord.
I said, you know what? I could tell the story of the great Makeba and her quest to revitalize healthcare in Mississippi. It all started back in
Once
19
upon a
blah blah blah
time.
blah blah. Look, started all back in 19 blah 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 in Forest, Mississippi.
Right. On a chicken farm.
because because the smell of chicken shit disturbed her so bad, she knew that she never wanted to be a farmer.
But let me tell you something. I don't care what you say. That chicken shit made him money.
I know it did. I ain't scared. Listen,
They
hey,
actually did a write up on him. Actually, I have it with me, but they did a write up.
yeah,
Tyson Forms did because he did everything manually. Get back. He did
who it is?
everything manually, Maddie. With his hands. I mean, and he only hired like family to help. I mean, that was his. And he had 6 long houses, chicken houses, and I mean, I'm like, oh wow,
Hey, but did you go hungry?
no,
Okay, all right. Hey, hey,
never,
hey.
ever.
So what you did? So this goes back again, and hopefully this is passing off to your children. Environmentally induced behavior can be just as positive as well as negative. You watched your grandfather create
Hmm.
a business that first provided a necessity for the community, but then he was
Exactly.
able to provide employment for a family, right? So
That's correct.
your daughter, what's your oldest daughter? What's her profession?
She's an RN. She's a nurse.
And what's your youngest daughter? What's her profession?
She's a medical assistant. She's going into
So
nursing.
so you create a family that use the same framework and model to
Right.
take the family business to another family business. By
Exactly.
the way, nothing like the show on Netflix, Family Business. That's a whole different family. That's a whole different type
Right.
of business.
Right.
But they stick together. That's the goal, that they stay together.
Right. They stuck
Um,
together and they did what they did.
right. Everybody, all hands on deck. See,
Right.
that the thing
Exactly.
about it is, a business, when you have a family business, it's like you play your role, you play your part. Right. Everybody don't have to do the same thing.
Right.
But everybody's part is needed in order for the business to be successful. Somebody in your grandfather's family drove the truck that took the chickens to the plant.
But actually, Tyson came to get them.
Tyson
But
came
my
and get them.
grandfather would drive. I mean, it was so many moving parts to that. And
Hmm.
now looking at it from hindsight, I'm like, wow. But had I known, and I'm going to tell you this, this is the honest to God truth because me and my children were talking about it. But had I known how everything operated, I probably would still be in the chicken business.
Well, so I started out wanting to be a farmer, and my great uncle, all he knew was the labor side, and he didn't want me to do that. Now that I've gotten to the point where I know more of the
Right,
business side of farming, like, man, I wish I had a stuck to that. But who
exactly.
knows, right? And maybe if I hadn't gotten the business knowledge, I would not have been able to take it to a next step, right?
Right.
Um, so we still talking about something that's a necessity, right? You got to eat, but you also got to have
Hmm.
folks that help take care of people in healthcare.
Right. Right.
And we were just talking about the different programs that are starting this summer. We were about to give a number. Give the number to the office where people can call, because I just sent somebody over there Saturday.
Oh,
I
okay.
got a person that's coming to do CNA Saturday. They're supposed to be reaching out. So what's the number to call?
Okay, so the number that they can call for the school is 769-572-7490.
Once
Again, that
again.
number is 769-572-7490.
Hmm.
Or they can call 769-572-7207.
So I know about the home health side, that's the school, but you started another program. And for those who don't know, um, people that have Medicaid, they usually get Medicaid not because they get a certain age, it's because they have a certain type of health issues, and where that's and Medicaid is state. Medicare is 65 and older. That's what you get. That's connected to your Social Security, right? Medicare go hand in hand. Um, so some people have Medicare and don't have Medicaid, and they need assistance from time to time. They have a little more revenue, but they need someone to help them. You feel that, and we always talk about the gaps, right? Especially with our culture, our people, that there are so many gaps left open. So you guys came up with a plan to fill that gap for someone to say, hey, what? It could be children, right? Children that live out of state, and they say, what? If we put our money together, we can spend $500 a month, and you can get the care. So tell us about that program.
That is home care to go. That's our home care program. Now, this program developed during COVID.
Hmm.
It was two little elderly ladies that came into our office and they were wanting some home care services. They said they didn't qualify for Medicaid. They only had Medicare. Well, some Medicare doesn't cover home care. So what we did was we came up with a plan and it's called Home Care to Go, where it's a membership plan. They can get like so many visits per month, so much care per month with a set for a set price. We have like different levels that they can apply for. And it's something recently I just did, Matt. I haven't even talked to Doctor about this, but I received a call the other day. There was this gentleman who lost his wife, and he's actually suffering from Parkinson's. Well, he needs some assistance. He don't have anybody at all. I think his family lives like miles and miles away. And me, when I get on the phone and I talk to people and I know them and I know of their situation, And I said, you know what? We're tailored to you. We're tailored to whatever your needs are. Because again, I don't want to see anybody left out there who's in need. Again, I feel like I was called to, care. And, that's my calling. I care. So we have to be able to fill in the gap. So that's just something that I think I'll just die doing is trying to, fill in the gap and trying to help others. So, but home care to go, we have like different levels of care that they can receive, and each level have like so many visits that they can receive per month, and so many hours per day. And we have a great team of team leads that go out and perform those visits. So we are super excited about that program. We haven't, I told my husband not too long ago, I said, boy, we should really market this thing. It'll probably blow up, but we just haven't, we haven't really marketed like we wanted to, because of course we want to be able to have available staff.
So I know staffing is a major issue where a lot of folks. Um, so creating this program, the on the go home care to go program, and an example for someone, and I give this example because we've dealt with it in our family. Someone breaks their hip.
Right.
They might have been a senior citizen or someone who is active and independent. They break their hip, so they don't need E&D waiver with long-term health care. They need to be able to get someone to assist them for the next couple of months with certain uh, running of errands, assisting around the house, whatever that may be. You might get a plan where you get 10 visits per month, and each visit is for 4 hours for each visit. That works for you because certain days you might need more assistance than others. And so, for instance, if you're paying out of pocket for your home care to go, and then you're going through rehab that your Medicare is paying for, you're going through rehab, so you got uh, physical therapist coming out, then the nurse come out. So you'll have your person come out on the opposite day. So that way you're filling in the gaps where someone can come in. So that's part of the things what we start doing with and why I everybody created something out of I guess the need from dealing with their own family is why the home health services or social services that the teachings that we do with the Epps Institute is about helping you be a understand caregiving and triaging and coordinating. Like you can fill these gaps. Don't have everybody show up on one day and that person live by themselves. You know,
Right.
and if you got four children and three grandchildren, then we can pull the money together. Because the thing is, you want to make sure that someone is there for them, and somebody got eyes on them, and someone can just be there to tell you, hey, you need to come check on this person. You need to come look at this and look at that. Sometimes that's all you need. So I'm telling those, for those of us parents, for those of us who are children or grandchildren, and we want to be able to assist them, this is a great program, especially when you are not in the same city or state. You can help provide that service where you got some eyes in the house.
Right.
Uh, um, and because they need it. And being on another side working in the clinic, when you see someone come in and they got 5, 6 different blood pressure medications, not because the doctor prescribed them, because they never discarded the ones because they got confused and they are trying to, and they don't know what to keep, and then they keep trying. And it takes someone to be there to come and check in, and when they first notice it, they can pick up the phone and say, "Hey,
Exactly.
Makeba, I don't know if you know, but you might want to come check the med box, right?"
Right.
Um, that's all you need. That's so. This is a great program. Definitely something that is needed, and we all need it. You got a plan for yourself too, Makeba. This is the plan. Hey, you get this stuff set up. You need to know that this is something you need. That's why
Right.
when you focus on children and seniors, it's always going to be
A
uh,
need.
a need for them. And
And
folks in the
this is
middle kind of
something
take care of
too,
themselves.
Mac, that I
Mhm.
would encourage. I don't think we have in our communities, we don't have enough conversation about, okay, what do we need to prepare for?
Mhm.
The baby boomers, they're living longer. And I guess when you're in your 30s and 40s, you don't think about, okay, well, mama got to get old or daddy got to get old. And if they live to be this age, or if they start getting dementia, what are we going to do? And I often tell people, when you're younger, go ahead and put your parents in a long-term care policy, or go ahead and try to set them up so when they do get into the age to where they have dementia or Parkinson's or something like that, you would be able to either have someone, you would be able to pay for someone to come into your home, or you can place them into a nice facility. I mean, either way, but those are conversations that we need to have um within our community. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
We do not
I mean,
talk about it enough. And there is a such thing, and the reason why I say, taking them to a nice facility, because there is a such thing as caregiver role strain. I mean,
mhm.
you may have, my dad who is kidney disease, heart disease, could be staying with me, you know, 24/7, and I don't get a break from my siblings or his siblings or whomever. They don't come and care for him. Everything is on me, and plus I have things that I'm doing. I mean, there is a such thing as caregiver role strain, and I have seen it. Being in this business, I have seen so much, and I kind of like wonder, like, oh my gosh, how could that, how can they do that, or why are they doing that? And then I have to step back and I have to look at, there is a such thing as caregiver role strain, and it causes people to sometimes make bad and wrong decisions.
Yeah. I mean, it's and then it's a we talk about this too. And I tell people, I said, children watch you. Again, environmentally induced behavior. If
Exactly.
if you
Exactly.
don't take care of your parents, what is going to make your child see
Right.
the need to prioritize to take care of you, right?
Exactly.
Society has placed in our head that um, what living life looks like. I said, but other cultures outside of these United States, understanding that it's taking care of your parents or taking care of someone like that, it's a part of life. This is a part of your journey, and you got to be able to understand, regardless if you have the knowledge to facilitate their care, or if you're doing it hands on, it's still going to be needed, and
Exactly.
you're going to learn by taking care of them or things that you might need for yourself. You learn, like, I need to put this in place for me. I need to put this in
Exactly.
place for me. I need to put that in place for me.
That's
Right.
right.
Um, so I tell people now, when you start talking about children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, structure and the work ethic that you put into them now will show up later when they are in these roles where someone is desperately needing them, and their whole life revolve around them showing up on time and doing the job that they are required to do. That makes a world of a difference. You're
Exactly.
literally putting someone's life in your hands, and it starts by, and then we've seen the worst of the worst. We know what it's like. That's
Yep.
why when anytime I had to speak to anybody, the first thing I talk about is professionalism, and that's an overused word and what that means. We've seen the worst of the worst,
That's right.
because this is a field that's always in need. And sometimes we don't get the best, so you got to require the best, and
Hmm.
you got to, and we all say, what create what don't exist, meaning that if it's something that you see a need for in our community, then you create it. And that's what y'all have done. Y'all created a school. The school can feed the home health side. You're putting folks back to work. You're educating folks about the importance of healthcare, and you're filling that gap because we're going to get older. You ain't got to get older.
Right.
You can have a traumatic situation. You ain't got to get older
And exactly.
and
You're
need
correct.
someone to help on the health side. But then for those who, and I was telling, I actually got two people I was sitting here with. One young lady who just graduated from college from USM. She was like, she want to go to med school. I said, start building your health care resume now. Go ahead and get your credentials in CNA or CMA and start to work in that field.
Right.
I said, and then you go to med school, right? But go ahead and get your experience, get your feet
Get your
wet.
feel for it to see
Yeah,
if it's something that you really want to do.
before you
Yeah.
invest all of this money. I know plenty of people that never set foot in the classroom, until they got to their senior year in college when it's time to graduate. And they're like, I don't want to do this. But you, for 5 years, you've been on the education track to be a teacher,
Exactly.
and you never learned, never got there. It's not about getting the information, though. It was classroom management that gets everybody.
Right.
It's like, I wasn't ready for this. There's one young man I never forget in the psych field. He came and did his interview, and the unit was in chaos. When I tell you, we had folks secluded. It was everything. He just walked through. He kept walking through, acting like he didn't see it. And my supervisor at the time said, if he come back tomorrow and accept the job, he built for this. He know what he's getting himself into. He's
Right.
seen the unit at its worst, and he came back. And he was one of the best people to work with those children. And so you know what you're getting yourself into. So
Right.
so yeah, placement is good, and they have a lot of good folks, guys who are watching out there. That once you start working on your skill side, you get placed in where you can learn for real, like, and you get a chance to see thing in real time. So um, we're glad to have you guys on representing B1 Holdings. It's a certain
Ventures and
yeah,
hope.
ventures. It's a certain level, right? It's the ventures and holding. We're like, what the hell is that? Ventures and holding. What y'all holding? What is
Oh
the
my,
venture?
those other
You know,
companies.
yeah, so those are terms, but that's a whole other different business level, right? That's we have surpassed just plain LLC. We own a different level. So you have what you call an umbrella company. So that will be an umbrella company, guys. And I'm quite sure everybody out there that knows that. So is there anything else you want to share with everybody before we get ready to get out of here? Because I think we right at the time.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say this real quick. Thank you all for tuning in. You can reach us again at the numbers that I had mentioned earlier, and I'm quite sure Mr. Epps is gonna put them in the comment section. We're right here off of Old Fannin Road. If y'all have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out. We have a team of people who are here to help you with whether it's home care, whether it's education, or whether you need a mentor, mentee, or whatever, just let me know. I'm here for the people.
Now, somebody said it was something that was left off this list.
Oh my gosh, who said something? Dr. Cheney.
Majesty Living.
Magic. I did not mention that for a reason.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But we do have Majesty Living. Majesty
I
Living
don't
is
know. Come back
we'll
and tell
talk
them about
about
it
that
later.
another time. We'll talk
There's
about that
another
another time.
show.
That's in the making.
I ain't gonna get in between you and Dr. Cheney. And, and but so everybody, look, thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, drop the comments, reach out to us if y'all interested in definitely UFC. B1 set up a lot of community events. You'll see them out. So you want to just get information about them. Definitely gonna be looking at doing some events for health screening and getting ready for a big event coming up in August. You'll get more information about that later on. But other than that, hey, they in it to help people, but they also in it to get to where the money resides. We might not have that music for you tonight, but we're still gonna rub our hands. We're still gonna do the Birdman hand rub, baby. The
Oh,
Birdman hand rub. Put the money in your hand. You hear that noise my hands making? See, yeah, I might need some lotion.
right. You need some of this holy oil over here. Put rub your hand. Rub that on
You
your
said
hand.
you said holy oil.
Yes, blessed
Is it
oil.
is it boiling over there with you? Hoo hoo. I'm here all night, baby. Here all night. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. See y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.